89 days since Manchester City carved their names into English football folklore, winning an unprecedented fourth successive Premier League title. Almost 3 months later, we go all over again as the 2024-25 Premier League season gets underway tonight as Manchester United take on Fulham at Old Trafford. 380 games, 20 teams, 38 match weeks, and so much action and drama. The Premier League is back, and we cannot contain our excitement. Good evening and welcome to Premier League Live for another new season here on LFS. 38 weeks of Premier League football over to come over the next 10 months. We're going to be loving it all the way through, and you can join us all the way through for every step of the way. Premier League Live returns this season once again. And it will be our focus, our main focus amongst other competitions, but this is our bread and butter. This is what we love every single week. The Premier League returns, and we have a very interesting matchup tonight as we see Manchester United take on Fulham. That gets us off underway. Manchester United start their season once again, hoping for much more positives than last season. Fulham finished last season an unlucky 13th. Will it be a lucky season for the Cottagers? We'll find out. Well, so far, we have done predictions, we've done all the drama, all the stuff that builds up to the new season. Let's have a look at my predictions then, because this is going to be fascinating. For the new season, we all do predictions, everybody does predictions. These are mine in full for the new season. I've predicted Southampton, Nottingham Forest and Leicester to be relegated. And a bunch of other clubs mixed in there. Fulham we watched tonight. I have them finishing in 16th, which is unexpected for some teams. A couple of teams in the bottom half there. I felt harsh putting West Ham at 11th, but you know, it happens. Crystal Palace I'm expecting to be our big surprise this season in 9th. Chelsea in 8th, just missing out in Europe. And there's your top 7 according to my predictions. Newcastle 7th, Villa 6th. Manchester United we watched this evening, just missing out on Champions League football. Tottenham, Liverpool and Man City all getting Champions League, with Arsenal, I feel, will claim their a title they haven't won in 21 years. It would be if they do win it this season. Since 2004, the last time they won it. I was only born the same month, a month later, after Arsenal last won the title in the Premier League. I've never witnessed it, and I'm guessing, according to my predictions, that we will witness it this season. But you never know. Along with predictions, there are changes to a Premier League season. These are a couple of the changes that have been announced over the last few days. VAR has been, of course, it's always controversial in the Premier League and around the world, but they will have a higher bar for intervention, according to the referee's chief hired, Webb, so they won't be getting involved as much. There's such a thing as a referee's call. Basically, if it's not seen as a full error or a clear and obvious error, we've heard that phrase multiple times before. If it's a more subjective call, VAR are more unlikely to get involved, basically. But we'll see that. Of course, the Premier League have introduced a Match Centre account on social media, on X, where they will explain VAR and refereeing decisions in almost real time, they have said. Also, in-stadium changes as well. On screens, there will be more replays of VAR decisions and VAR graphics to show what they're looking at, what lines they're drawing, all that type of stuff. Plus, they will have more explanations on what is happening in the stadium for fans to fully get an experience of what VAR is doing. Because when you're watching it at home compared to in the stadium, very different experiences for fans. In terms of stoppage time, we saw last season quite an amount of stoppage time, 12-15 minutes in total over both halves. That will be significantly dropped according to what the Premier League are hoping for. They will drop stoppage time in terms of the amount of stoppage time will be a lot less than what has been previously. In terms of handball, the position of a player's hand or arm will be judged in relation to the movement of their body. So we've seen before where if the arm is just out, if it has been called a penalty multiple times, it will be in kind of relation to the movement of the body. If they're moving in that direction and it hits their arm, it's more unlikely, but we'll see what happens there. A non-deliberate handball leading to a penalty will no longer be an automatic booking offence. You used to get an automatic yellow card for if you were accidentally handling the ball and it led to a penalty. That used to be a yellow card. Now it is not. And encroachment. Now this is a bit complicated. Encroachment of a penalty will not only be penalised if it has an impact. So therefore, if there's an encroachment of a penalty, if it does not impact the ultimate result of a penalty, either missing a penalty, saved the penalty, or in terms someone scoring from a rebound, therefore that will be the only times that it is penalised. That means, as I said, if an opposition player denies a goal scoring chance, or if a penalty taker's teammate scores or creates a chance, then encroachment will be penalised. But we'll talk through that. It's about inaction that we will see those changes, and the players entering the field at Old Trafford, ready for that excitement of a new season. This is the only day of the season that all 20 sets of fans believe that this is their year, this is their time, and that they are going to find success in this wonderful league. Manchester United and Fulham fans maybe didn't have the best of seasons last season. Manchester United, though, did win the FA Cup in June, beating their city rivals at Wembley. They would love another taste of that. Well, Erik ten Hag has good cup success, 2 seasons and a cup apiece, one in each hand to show for it. Let's see if he can deliver success to Manchester United once again. We will see tonight. Let's have a look at the teams then for the new season to get underway. Manchester United start with Onana in goal, of course. A bit of an interesting back four. Diogo Dalot starts at right back. Harry Maguire and Lisandro Martinez in centre back, with Noussair Mazraoui making his debut as a Manchester United player this evening. He starts at left back. Kobbie Mainoo, the teenage sensation that lit up the scene for Manchester United last season, he starts in midfield alongside experienced Casemiro. Mason Mount starts in the 10 role according to what we believe. Ahmad off the right, Marcus Rashford off the left, and Bruno Fernandes playing as that auxiliary centre forward with the injury to Rasmus Højlund. Fernandes, of course, the United captain. On the bench for United, Bayindir de Ligt, the new signing, could make his debut tonight off the bench. Evans, Garnacho, McTominay, Anthony, Collier, Eriksen and Xerxes as well. Joshua Xerxes, the Dutch centre forward, he could also make an appearance this evening. For Fulham, it's season 4 under Marco Silva. He starts with Bernd Leno, the captain, this evening in goal. Kenny Tete, Issa Diop, Calvin Bassey and Anthony Robinson make up the back four. The loss of Tim Ream at centre-back will be harshly felt for Fulham. Also in midfield, Sasa Lukic is joined alongside Andres Pereira in a deeper role. Of course, they did lose their star man last season in João Palhinha, but they are looking for another, says Marco Silva. Well, they've already found a man in the 10 role that's going to be in there. Emile Smith-Rowe joined from Arsenal for £34 million. He starts tonight making his debut. Adama Traore off the right, Alex Iwobi off the left, and Rodrigo Muniz at centre forward. On the bench for Fulham this evening, Benda, Cuenca, Castagna, King, Reid, Wilson, Kearney, Jimenez and Stansfield. Well, Manchester United have only lost to Fulham twice at Old Trafford since the 1960s, but one of those was last season. Can Fulham make it 2 wins at Old Trafford on the bounce, or will Manchester United continue that wonderful record of winning in the opening day? 21 times they've won on the opening day in the Premier League. Can they make it 22? Kick-off in the opening Premier League game of the season is next. A very good evening and welcome. Old Trafford, the occasion for tonight's kick-off game in the Premier League. Another season full of hope and anticipation and excitement. But who will emerge victorious in tonight's opener between Manchester United and Fulham? Well, the winner of this opening night fixture, or opening game of the season, for the last number of games, the winner has won by quite a number of goals, by 2 goals to say the very least. As the players take a knee this evening, as they will do all across this weekend, to say there is no room for racism in football. And the season is up and running. Fulham get us going here at Old Trafford, and season number 32 in the Premier League gets underway. The Premier League, not a new league anymore, but it always offers excitement and drama and love for the new season as Manchester United are in the first minute. Here's Rashford looking for a cross into the box. Ahmad made the run, but I'm completely underhit that one, Rashford, and he was offside anyway. Just see it again, it's a pump ball in behind, and yeah, clearly offside there, Marcus Rashford, as well as Bruno Fernandes, I think it was, as well, alongside him. That could be the approach that Manchester United take tonight. Those quick balls in behind. It's not expected to be a Manchester United side that we're expecting to dominate possession and completely overrun Fulham. We're expecting more counter-attacking side, I'm guessing, tonight from Manchester United. Of course, matching up in that 4-2-2-2 system, we believe, with no out-and-out centre-forward, in a sense. But we will see what kind of way that works out. That's well one back there. Down the right-hand side for United, here's Ahmad. And it comes all the way back to Lisandro Martinez. Of course, the centre-back partnership tonight, Martinez and Maguire. Rafael Varane sent packing. He went back to his home country for this season, leaving Manchester United. And a very injury-ravaged defence for Manchester United last season, which had them see more than 15 different partnerships at centre-back. It's quite remarkable how many different partnerships they had at the back, but the new season they'll be hoping for a lot less on that front this campaign, a lot more consistency in the side. That was probably one of the biggest problems with Manchester United last season. They weren't consistent enough. They weren't you didn't know what you were going to get from week to week with Manchester United, whether it was going to be a high pressing side, a deep sitting side, a counter attacking side. There wasn't really much consistency last season. We'll see if that changes with a couple of new signings for Erik ten Hag. Casemiro to Lisandro Martinez. Back to Harry Maguire, who some have argued that he should have been gone years ago, but Harry Maguire is still a very competent centre-back. Does the job, at very least. Here's Diogo Dalot, who is playing left-back this evening. Of course, left-back's been a major issue for Manchester United. Luke Shaw injured, Tyrell Malacia, their two starting left-backs, both injured at this moment in time. There's Kobbie Mainoo. Now out to Marcus Rashford on the left. A good start from the home side. Mainoo. Dalot. Back to Casemiro. Tried to go round the corner. Well closed down in the middle there by Smith Rowe. Making his debut tonight, as I mentioned, for Fulham. Joined from Arsenal for £34 million. Of course, really couldn't solidify his place in the Arsenal side. Injuries really caused a problem for Emile Smith Rowe, and I'm sure he's hoping that he can really solidify his place in this Fulham side throughout this season and throughout a couple of seasons. Still only 24. There's that crop of players that came through under Arteta, with the likes of Saka and Martinelli. Smith Rowe was one of them. As Fulham tidy in possession. Lukic back to Bassi. Out to the left hand side. Here's Iwobi. Closed back by Mazraoui. As it comes back to Calvin Bassi. And across to Issa Diop. Kind of darted through midfield. Closed down by Mainoo, but straight back to Bassi for Fulham. Interesting watching United here. Just watching the way they're setting up out of possession. As Robinson sent down the line, and Harry Maguire comes sliding across, and Fulham will get the throw in on the left hand side. Positive attacking play down the line there between Iwobi and Robinson. Comes back to Alex Iwobi. Diop. So comes down the right hand side now with Adama Traore. Back in field. Nice touch by the midfielder there. Andres Pereira. Formerly of this parish, of course, Andres Pereira. Was a Manchester United player for a while. I mean, the vast majority of players in the Premier League have, at one point or another, had their trips to this ground. Whereas Pereira did leave Manchester United in 2022, joined Fulham for £8 million in 2022. but had been loaned out previously before, a number of times. He actually joined in 2015, 9 years ago since his signing here at Old Trafford. And Pereira playing in black and white tonight and having a chance of taking this first free kick in a positive area on this far right hand side. Pereira just rolls it across, gets it back, lifts it into the box, and the first set piece of the game ends up in the hands of the United keeper, Andre Onana, as United sent on the counter. Mazraoui has to come back in field though. Casemiro. Menu now out to the left hand side. It's Fernandez there on the left hand side. Back it comes to Martinez. Just wanted to really get up the field there, Manchester United, very quickly. And they're in Fulham's half now, penning Fulham in. Rashford looking for the ball over the top. Fernandez made the run. Fulham defended it well as Adama Traore tries to go the other way, and he's got the pace on Casemiro. Martinez is over there too, but Adama Traore trying to go himself, and he gets past his man, and Adama Traore in the box cuts it back. Lots of bodies in there. No one can get a definitive touch for Fulham as Manchester United break away. That was wonderful. That was the Adama Traore of the pass that we saw there. Blistering pace down the right hand flank. Casemiro left in dust, and Lisandro Martinez just watching his man speed past him. Incredible pace from Adama Traore, and then he just tried to cut it back into the box, and 3 Fulham players arriving, but too many bodies in the middle, and no one could really get a definitive strike on the ball, allowing Manchester United to recover. But we talked about Manchester United wanting to use counter-attacking football this evening. Well, Fulham just showed their threat on the break, and they've got an incredible physical player in Adama Traore. I mean, we haven't seen the very best of Adama Traore at Fulham since joining the club. That's what I mean about seeing the Adama Traore of old, of a few years ago, absolutely bursting it up at Wolves. Here's Muniz, centre forward for Fulham, using his feet to get past Casemiro. Out wide it comes to Traore again. Edge of the box. Traore to shoot. But that shot is nowhere near the target there. We just see this pace again. It's absolutely blistering. Down the right hand side of Manchester United have bodies around him. Martinez tries to cut him off, and he just speeds right past him like he's not there. Man United did have enough bodies in the box to deal with the situation. Good covering by Mazraoui, and then Martinez just gets back in to clear it away. But again, really good threat by Traore. Rashford receives the ball in the middle, booted away by Issa Diop. Casemiro a bit muddled in the middle. Mount there to help out. Smith Rowe comes away with the ball. Now Pereira. Out to Robinson on the left for Fulham. Pereira again. Of course, sitting in a deeper role, it seems, alongside Sasa Lukic when Fulham are in possession in and around that area. Whereas more often we've seen him, Andres Pereira, play more as a 10 for Fulham. Kind of more in that attacking, just behind the striker kind of setup. He's just sitting a bit deeper. I guess that will maybe change if Fulham do find a replacement for João Palhinha, which of course Marco Silva kind of referenced in the pre-match interview about how they're really looking. They are looking in the market at the moment, Fulham, for someone to replace João Palhinha, a massive player in the Fulham side, as Fulham get the free kick, but the referee's not going to allow them to take it quickly, as it comes back here as the United player down on the floor, so the referee has to check the Kobe Mainoo's problems there. We'll just see this again. Yeah, I mean, Muniz is drawn to the floor, and I mean, Mainoo goes down, but it's kind of just a lack of, I mean, it's just Muniz and Maguire battling, and then Maguire just shoves Muniz to the floor. It's a foul, and then Mainoo just gets caught in the collateral there, really. As Fulham do get the free kick, and they take it. Bassey under pressure there. That's good pressing by Mason Mount, as Robinson has to go back to Bassey. Getting around the field is Mount, but Fulham play out of that press well. It's Lukic, sorry. Back to Bassi, and now all the way back to Bernleno. Here's the armband tonight for Fulham. Tom Kearney, the club captain, on the bench, and Tim Ream, who usually would have had the captain's armband if Kearney wasn't on the field last year, is no longer in the side. So Bernleno gets the armband this evening for Fulham. Throw in on the left-hand side for Manchester United. Dalot over it to Martinez, back to Diogo Dalot. Harry Maguire. Martinez. Of course, do get involved in the chat if you would like to. It's great to have you with us here for our first live watch-along commentary of the new season in the Premier League season as we get underway. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you wish. As the ball into the box there from United. Wasn't really a threat. Easily gathered by Bernleno. Not a bad effort by Bruno Fernandes, but again, with no Højlund in there, they might just struggle to find a kind of a target man or a poacher in the box tonight, Manchester United. And I think Fernandes was kind of playing that role alongside Rashford at times. It's between the two on who will play that kind of step-in role. As here's a nice run from Ahmad into the box. Robinson gets back. He goes to grind Ahmad. The referee says no penalty. And I would tend to agree with the referee's decision there, but the crowd don't, as you can expect. This could be the first bit of action for VAR, who I don't think are going to have a say at this moment in time. Is Fulham on the break now? They may want to come up the other end. Man United have bodies back. Fulham have a threat coming forward as Tete forces a big save off Andre Onana. Given far too much space in the middle was Tete, and the strike was lovely. But a good save by Onana, and now Manchester United are claiming for that penalty at the other side. I don't think VAR are going to get involved. We'll see this again. Ahmad just trailing through. Iwobi and Robinson on the cover, and that's never a penalty for me. Robinson, I mean, it's just a collision between the two players. It's not a foul. He doesn't make an action towards the ball, to the player. That's not a foul. And then a nice run from Kenny Tete, right back for Fulham. Gets into the kind of 10 role, attacking midfield role. He just has a strike from distance, and it's a really good strike, clean as you like. And Onana has to force it over. Corner to Fulham, headed down in the box by Muniz, but crowds of bodies in there for United. To clear it away was Rashford. Goodness me. Smith Rowe. Fulham starting to grow into this game a bit more now. Seeing a bit more of Fulham going forward. Here's Robinson. Bassi. Well, now Man United in a 4-4-2 out of possession in a sense. That's a lovely cushion ball by Smith Rowe, and Iwobi trying to find Muniz in the box. Again headed away by Harry Maguire. Mainu. Rashford linking up with Fernandes. Rashford looking to dart down the left-hand side. Tete in battle. Rashford holds him off. As Pereira on the cover. And he ends up pushing Rashford over, which gives a free kick to Manchester United. By the way, this evening, we did get the Championship season underway last week for you. We do have a match focus game in the Championship for you this evening. It's Coventry against Oxford. Oxford, of course, got that big shock last weekend, and it's Coventry who lead by 1-0 against Oxford United. 15 minutes gone there. They also kicked off at 8 o'clock this evening. And we'll keep you up to date with the scoreline there in the Championship. Right, Manchester United have this free kick then on the left-hand side. Decent opportunity here for United. Try and whip one into the box. Left-footed delivery by Fernandes. The header is over the bar by Casemiro. Decent delivery. Decent header. Whether there was an offside in there, he was offside. He's miles offside there, Casemiro. Even if it had a win in, it wouldn't have counted. He was offside, but nonetheless, A goal kick given. Of course, Casemiro has had a lot of talk about his future at Manchester United. He's, of course, signed from Real Madrid for £60 million 2 summers ago. Actually joined the club on the 22nd of August in 2022. So we'll be coming up to 2 years in the next week at Manchester United. £60 million on a 4-year contract. His contract doesn't end until 2026. As Adama Traore again looking for his bursting pace on the counter here for Fulham. Martinez does incredibly well there. Makes up for his earlier, maybe a bit of a red-faced bit of defending earlier. But gets the better of Adama Traore on that occasion. Just shoves him out of the way and shields that one out for the goal kick. Again, looking to weave his way through Traore, and he just edges him over there, does Martinez. Really good bit of defending. He may not be the biggest or the strongest, but positionally, he finds himself in good areas, Lisandro Martinez. And certainly can get to the dogged side of the game. That kind of, with centre-backs in recent years, has kind of disappeared. You know, the old adage of a centre-back's a real warrior at the back. You don't really see that anymore. The more ticky-taca ball playing now, you don't really see that massive... I mean, you get tall centre-backs, but in terms of that real killer at the back, that real warrior as previously known, it's not really there anymore, as Fernandes went down in the box there, but nothing from the referee's point of view to worry. Here's Bassi at the back for Fulham. Robinson looking to go up to find Iwobi. That's well won back by Mazraoui, and now Mainu in a tight bit of space. Lovely footwork from Mainu, but he has the ball stolen from him. Pereira now finds Smith Rowe as Mount takes down Smith Rowe there, quite cynically. And Mason Mount gets the first yellow card of the new Premier League season. It's cynical, and it probably deserved a yellow. It's always taking the man out, never anywhere near the ball, and it's a clear as day yellow card for Mason Mount. Can't have any complaints at that. And the referee this evening, Rob Jones, made very sure of that. Mason Mount really struggled with injuries last season after making that big money move from Chelsea to Manchester United last summer. £55.5 million. He joined from Chelsea, and as that's given away in the middle by Iwobi. But Manchester United couldn't find a through ball. Picked up by Lukic, trying to get Fulham forward. It's a bit scrappy at times from both teams in possession. A couple of misplaced passes, a couple of wayward balls. And of course, it's only the first game of the season. It's the first 18 minutes of the new campaign. It's not going to be kind of zippy football, but it's been a decent quality so far. But we have seen a few wayward passes, and sometimes that can benefit the opposition massively. Iwobi, nice ball to find Robinson, maybe just escapes him as the flag does go up against Anthony Robinson. And a free kick will be given to Manchester United there. Just made his run in behind just a bit early, did Robinson there, and penalised for it. There's the New England interim head coach, Lee Carsley, in the crowd tonight. Of course, has a Nations League campaign to get underway as his first involvement as England manager. There's a couple of English internationals to watch here tonight. Of course, his first game against Ireland in the Nations League at the start of September in the first international break. So England's under a new regime. Not permanently, though. Still only the interim head coach, which there could be another England player in charge of person in charge of England in a few months' time. But Lee Carsley has come through the ranks, the youth ranks at England. That's a nice ball forward. Rashford. Fernandes made that run. Rashford was in support. Fernandes just hit the side netting. Again, he had no one there following in. Just as I said, Man United might struggle to find that poacher, that forward that gets into the box. It's there in the 6-yard box waiting to finish. And again, another example of it. Fernandes tries to go across. It's not a shot. It's definite cross from Fernandes. Just goes a bit wayward. But there's no one in there. If it had have been fed across the box, there was no one following in to try and take that strike. And, of course, that will be a miss with no Højlund until at least mid-September. Something that Man United are going to have to get to grips with if they're not going to start Xerxes, which I'm guessing they will. Maybe not just fit enough to start this game tonight, but maybe we'll see him a bit later on and in coming weeks until Højlund does get back to full fitness. Mazraoui. Here's Ahmad down the right hand side. Mount finds Mainoo. Back it comes to Martinez. Maguire. Out wide again it comes. Ahmad back to Maguire. Cross now to Martinez again. Manchester United just patient in their possession as they find the pass out to Ahmad, who can now take a run at the defence. Tries to come in field, but Fulham have significant cover there, but they give the ball away, and Lukic trying to play out. And that's lovely from Fulham on cover from Tete there to win it back. Munith. And Fulham have bodies trying to break forward. Here's Kenny Tete off the right hand side. Not many to target in there as he whips a ball into the area. Maguire to head it clear. Picked up by Pereira, but stolen away from him. Mount. Rashford just a bit loose, but Ahmad will pick up the loose ball. Finds Mainoo. Decent football at the moment. Again, both teams just trying to get the grips with their combinations, their link-ups, their passes, figuring out the systems a bit more. Maybe there's been a few tweaks over the summer. Whilst also trying to get their match sharpness up to full levels. It's what is to be expected on the opening weekend of the new season. Dalot. Back to Harry Maguire. We have a goal in the Championship tonight. This evening, Coventry had taken the lead against Oxford. Haji Wright opened the scoring, and Oxford United not looking to go down without a fight there. They are back level. Here's Mazraoui. Now finds Fernandez well closed down in the edge of the box. I have to say one thing that Fulham have got right this evening so far is when Man United do arrive at the edge of the box, they have significant numbers in cover and bodies there to really close down that space. There's not much space being given to Manchester United forwards when they get into that area. As Marco Silva's already waving and shouting and throwing hands in the air. Very animated head coach is Marco Silva on the sidelines. There's a foul there on Kobbie Mainoo. Maybe a bit of a cheap foul to give away there from a Fulham point of view. Marco Silva, 140 games in charge of Fulham as he starts his 4th season at the club. Of course, got them promoted from the Championship in his 1st season. Finished 10th in his 2nd season in the Premier League, and then last season, of course, finished 13th. So certainly solidifying Fulham's place as a Premier League side in the last 2 years. Of course, has some big results to show for it as well. As Fernandez whips a ball in, and the header again is over the bar, and again it was Casemiro. And I think the flag might have went up again on Casemiro. If I see the replay, it was a hint of offside once again. As we look up into the executive box here at Old Trafford, we see a couple of Man United players injured. Rasmus Højlund, Lenny Yoro, the new signing, also injured, out till November. Lenny Yoro, a new big centre-back signing. So Nana has a bit to deal with here, and he doesn't want to pass the ball. He heads it straight out for a Fulham throw. Not the most confidence, a bit of goalkeeping there from Onana, but better safe than sorry in a sense. Fulham win the throw in high up on the left-hand side. Robinson back to Lukic. The last 8 seasons in a row, Manchester United have started the campaign with a home game. 10 of the last 11 campaigns they've started here at Old Trafford on the opening weekends, and they have more wins in the opening weekend of a season than any other team in Premier League history at 21. As there's going to be a free kick here for Manchester United, and a yellow card as well for Calvin Bassey. Just came crashing in on Mason Mount there. Yeah, it is a definite yellow. Another one of those fouls where later in the season you would see being more accurate. This time with the lack of match sharpness, maybe just a bit mistimed that from Calvin Bassey, and a yellow card goes his way. So card apiece. 0-0 after 25.5 minutes here in the opening game of the new season. Mainu. Rashford. Back in field to Dalot. Now Casemiro. Mazraoui out to Ahmad. Up against Robinson again. Ahmad tiptoeing his way forward. Spins back. He cuts it back to Casemiro, who delivers deep. Rashford was there but couldn't get the clean header on it as Traore picks up the ball. Dalot does well to win it back. Now Mainu. Fernandes. Now Casemiro will shoot over the bar. Whether it's a header or a shot with his right foot, he can't seem to keep things down under the bar so far, Casemiro. He's had 3 chances, albeit 2 of them offside, but 3 times in the attacking areas, Casemiro's got it over the bar. If he was playing rugby or NFL, he would be one of the best players on the field, but it's football. You have to keep it under the bar. But we'll excuse him, it's early in the season. Andres Pereira, as that's another one of those ones. Kenny Tete had it fizzed right out to him and he just couldn't bring it under control. In the chat there, Rufus says Fulham win. John Boy says Fulham will win, and it will be the same old United. Let's see. Again, Mainu tried to play it into Rashford's path, who felt he was fouled there, Marcus Rashford, but the referee saw no problem. As we play on. Bassey. Lukic to Smith Rowe. Sasa Lukic. He's just trying to close. When Fulham do have the ball at the back, United just seem to want to get bodies close to the centre-backs, not allowing them to play those little balls into the midfield. I haven't really seen very much of the likes of Smith Rowe or Pereira getting on the ball and breaking forward or pushing Fulham up the field. It's more in the wide areas where we've seen Fulham kind of break forward or get up the field so far in this first half, and I'm sure that's something Marco Silva will want to fix. Casemiro picks up the loose ball and Fernandes has his shot saved, but goodness me, that was terrible from Bernleno. Played it straight to Casemiro. And they get away with one there, Fulham. The risk of playing out from the back, but that was just not the risk of the system. It was just a terrible pass. Awful. And luckily, from a Fulham point of view, they go undamaged and unpunished. It was Fernandes that had the shot ultimately. And Bernleno made up for the initial mistake by making the save. That will certainly maybe worry Fulham a bit more. Maybe knock their confidence, but certainly will boost Manchester United in that sense. Not massively, but every little helps, as a famous supermarket says. Maguire looking to switch it out to the left. Lovely ball. Taken down well by Rashford. Dalot gets it back to Rashford, who has to go backwards though. Rashford still on the ball, comes towards midfield, finds Mazraoui. He's gone more infield, although tries to play it across to Mainu, and Fulham intercept, and then a late challenge there from the back by Casemiro. Sees Adama Traore on the floor, and Fulham getting a free kick. To see this again, that's absolutely woeful. The ball comes back to Bernleno, and first time without taking a touch, just kicks it, but kind of miscues it right out to Casemiro, who plays a nice ball into Fernandes, who made the run, and he just tried to, he just tries to hit it with the outside of his boot there. I think he tries to Trivela that one into the far corner. Showmanship at its finest there from Fernandes, but it didn't work out. Really good save by Bernleno. Fulham trying to high press there as the ball comes back to Maguire under a bit of duress. Does get a bit of help from Mount there. Mazraoui now, Mount on the spin. Lovely touch, but closed out there. Iwobi plays a ball in behind Munith on the chase, but just a bit too much that from Iwobi as Onana picks up. Considering Manchester United have really struggled to find a shot in the first 20 minutes or so, the last 4 have all been United shots in the game. Fulham had the first 3, Man United have had the last 4. It's all here nor there, but, you know, interesting in a sense, you could argue. Mainu, back to Casemiro now, Maguire. Another goal. It's a real goal fest tonight in the Championship at the Coventry Building Society Arena between Coventry and Oxford United. They're stealing all our goals this evening in this first half, and once again it is Coventry that lead. It is Coventry 2, Oxford United 1, and that goal scored by Milan Vanovic. So Coventry 2, Oxford United 1. Fascinating. Here's Dalot down the left for United. Rashford now, Dalot again. Dalot looking for the hopeful ball into the box, and Fernandes was the target, but just over the Portuguese head there. Or the head of the Portuguese, I meant to say. Nice delivery, right-footed into the box, and got a good whip on it, did Dalot. Just didn't come down in enough time, inches away from Fernandes getting a connection on that one. I don't know what he's saying to his teammate there, Fernandes, but he was pointing with a kind of a one finger in the air. I'm wondering what that is about. Nonetheless, Ahmad, Fernandes, back to Mazraoui. Maguire, across to Martinez. There's a bit of space to roam forward, does Martinez. Dalot takes the touch infield, comes back to Maguire on the halfway line. Now Mazraoui. Decent debut so far for Noussair Mazraoui, who joined as part of that deal. Him and Matthias de Ligt both joining from Bayern Munich in the last few days for a combined deal of around £50 million, something to that effect. Martinez. Here is Mazraoui again. Again tried to go for that infield ball. It does bounce its way to Bruno Fernandes, who just overrun it again as Fulham, as I mentioned and have mentioned all the way through the game, when United get into and around that edge of the box, Fulham have bodies around the ball. Lots of bodies getting in and closing the space. Fernandes just trying to dart it out to the left to rescue the situation, but Fulham had it covered. Robinson. Iwobi. Not a great touch from Bassi. Just got there ahead of Mount. Leno. As they play it out again, Fulham. Bassi well closed down by Casemiro. And a last touch came off the Fulham man. And that's good pressing from Casemiro. And Man United get the throw in. Gets a round of applause from the Old Trafford crowd. Mainu tried to close down with Smith Rowe, and Fernandes had another one saved. Lovely run in behind, and he just tried to sweep it with his right foot, and Bernd Leno made the save fantastically again. But they're getting closer. As Mazraoui there shoved down, and the referee is going to pull it back for a free kick here as Fulham wanted the throw in. You see this again, Mainu picking up the space in the middle. Tried to find Casemiro. Smith Rowe tried to close it down. The ball finds Bassi, comes back to Casemiro, and he just darts one in behind. Really nice run by Bruno Fernandes, timed it perfectly. And he just tried to sweep it with his right, and it just hit Bernd Leno, who came rushing out and closed down the angle. But again, a really nice move from Manchester United. All it was lacking was the finish, and that would have been a fantastic moment. In the last 10 minutes, only 8% of the ball has been in Manchester United's defensive third. So, certainly, in terms of territory, Manchester United having more of the ball and kind of in the better areas, certainly. as Ahmad has himself was being closed down there, but he did manoeuvre well to keep the ball. Mount tried to dart it for Ahmad again, and Fulham a bit loose in their passing once again as Bassi just kicks that one out for a throw-in. Maybe a bit panicky from Fulham in the last few minutes. Certainly not been confident on the ball. I said that maybe that little moment earlier on from Byrne Leno just messing it up, that pass out from the back, although he did make up for it, but maybe that knocked Fulham's confidence a slight bit. We've seen a bit more from United since that moment. It's Kobbie Mainoo does really well. And he wins Manchester United a corner there. Looked to be backed into a corner and somehow did a bit of a skill and won the corner out of it, did Kobbie Mainoo. Let's see what Manchester United can deliver from this set piece. Their first corner of the night of the season. And Ahmad will take. Body's in there and around that 6-yard box. Ahmad's delivery deep to the back post, headed down and headed wide. And again, it was Casemiro. He's won the end of every set piece so far, Casemiro. This one, Ahmad just lifts it to the far side of the 6-yard box on the left-hand side, and Casemiro just heads it into the ground. And it just bounces up and hits the side netting just wide. But again, he's certainly getting on the end of set pieces. It's Casemiro. As Leno goes long from the goal kick. Maguire heads it into the air. They win the second ball to United, but Fulham pick up the loose one from the second header. Brought down by Muniz and Smith Rowe there. They couldn't keep the ball in that tight area, Fulham, as Onana will pick it back up for United. 8 minutes to go with the first half. United 0, Fulham 0 here at Old Trafford on the opening night of the 2024-25 season. Mazraoui. Back to Harry Maguire. Amaz. Martinez. Don't forget, at half-time we'll talk through the Opta predictions for the new season. What Opta predict for the title race, top 4, and for the relegation battle. We'll tell you all about that at half-time. Plus, we'll analyse the first half, and we'll look ahead to the Premier League weekend here on the opening weekend of the new season. With 9 more games to come, we'll have a look at across all of those for you and pick out a couple of matchups for this weekend. Lots to look forward to. We do have La Liga action, which we'll tell you more about in the set at half-time as well to come this weekend. Rashford back to Fernandes. Casemiro again tries to flick it over the top, but Fulham again winning the ball nicely. It's Muniz there, tries to win the ball and ends up giving the ball away. As Mainoo wins another free kick there off Andreas Pereira. Another free kick for Manchester United here. Lifted into the box. Deep to find Rashford, who just about keeps it. Stretched for it there. Rashford did find it. Now it finds Mount on the edge of the box. And Smith Rowe there trying to be on the cover. Can't deny Manchester United a corner here. Another chance to whip a ball in. Really growing in their dominance as the half comes closer to half-time here. Ahmad takes short this time. Fernandes to deliver. Headed away that time by Bassi. Not cleared away completely though. As Tete gets in a bit of a muddle, and Tete was involved there, and I think Emile Smith Rowe looked to be giving away a penalty, but it's gone the other way. Fulham get a free kick, and Harry Maguire, I think, has got a yellow card for diving. We'll see this again. See this once more. Fulham failed to clear their lines. Munith there just flicks it across. Casemiro involved, and then Harry Maguire. As Emile Smith-Rowe tries to go for the ball, he then pulls back on his leg, just doesn't go for the challenge, and Maguire goes crumbling to the floor. I mean, that's a dive if I've ever seen one. That's really nowhere near a penalty. And the referee very smartly spotting that in real time, and that's a really good decision. A lot of pressure on the referee tonight. He'll be watched like a hawk because VAR have had their controversies last season, especially in the opening game here last season. There was a penalty not given that a lot of people felt was, and VAR went under a lot of scrutiny from the very first week last season all the way throughout the campaign. They couldn't shake it off, and they've had a bit of a talk over the summer, had a few changes as I mentioned before kick-off, and we've already seen tonight not much intervention from VAR at all, if any, so far in terms of stoppages to the game. We've seen the referee make decisions, definitive calls, and VAR maybe would have had a look, but not deeming that there is any need of a change in decision, and I think they've got it all right so far this evening. As again, Man United come forward, Rashford was in the mix, Fernandes has a pop shot, and Casemiro was there as well, and again over the bar from Casemiro. Just see this again. Mount made the run in behind, Rashford linked up, and then as it came back, struck there by Casemiro, but again over the bar and no real threat to Fulham defensively. Leno. Diop to Tete. Nice run from Pereira, looking for the runner of Adama Traore down that right. Challenged well by Dalot, and the last touch is off Adama Traore. Goal kick to Manchester United. That's really good covering by Diogo Dalot there. Stretching back towards your own goal to stop your attacker getting in the way, and also winning a goal kick in the process, making sure that the last touch comes off the opponent. Onana darted out to the left flank. Tete with the first header, flicked on to find Smith-Rowe for Fulham, lays it off to Traore. Traore battling there on the right hand side, and again getting in a real scrap there as Manchester United are going to get a free kick here, as Adama Traore just pulling the shirts of one of the United players there, and he's not quite particularly happy with the referee giving this free kick, but he's now claiming that he was pulled first. But I mean, he said, she said, all that rubbish. Just get on with the game. Free kick given to United. Last 2 minutes of the first half. We'll see how long will be added on. Of course, one of those new big changes to the season will be less stoppage time in the game. Hasn't been much reason to add stoppage time in this first half. I wouldn't say there'd be much more than a minute added on, but you never know. As Fernandes wins a throw in down that left hand side. Dalot will take. Maguire. Martinez. Down the left channel comes Dalot. Fernandes. Now Dalot again. His body's in the box. Can't manoeuvre a way through as Mainu gets it back to Fernandes. Now Mainu again. As it comes all the way back to Harry Maguire. Fernandes. Tried to go down the left channel, but Kobe Mainu was neither there or Dalot, and it went straight through and out for a goal kick. We'll certainly analyse this first half because I have a couple of comments to make about the way things have gone in this first period. There's one of the members of the Glazer family. Still the part of the majority shareholders here at Manchester United after Ineos's introduction throughout last season. Seen some big changes in the hierarchy of Manchester United. And there's just one added minute at the end of the first half, as I suspected. Not really much to stop it for. There hasn't been any goals in this first half so far, but it's been more tentative between both teams, just trying to figure each other out. But United have certainly grown in confidence and dominance in this first half, I'd have to really say. Fulham have kind of fell away into the second half of this first half, really. Not seen very much from them in that sense. Lukic. Smith Rowe. Last few seconds of the half. It's a Diop. And there's the whistle. The first 45 minutes of the new season has concluded, and we are yet to see our first goal of the campaign. It is 0-0 here at half-time at Old Trafford. A first half which saw Casemiro heavily involved in Manchester United's attacking play, having quite a number of shots over the bar, both with his head and with his foot. But surely there's a goal to come. Man United certainly on top at the moment, but Fulham have no damage done to their defence. Half-time, Man United 0, Fulham 0. Analysis on the way next. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Premier League Live, half-time in our opening game of the new season. Sees Manchester United take on Fulham, and at the break it is goalless between the two sides. Nothing to separate them in that first half in terms of the scoreline. Elsewhere, we're also keeping an eye on the game in the Championship for you this evening, as the second week of the Championship season gets underway tonight. We watch Coventry take on Oxford. Oxford, who beat Norwich in the opening game after their newly promoted campaign last season. Coventry City, who have done great work under their manager in the last few seasons, Mark Robbins. They're looking to get off to get their first win of the new campaign after they lost on match week 1. Let's have a look at the scoreline at half-time. It is Coventry who lead. Haji Wright put Coventry ahead. Kieran Brown levelled things for Oxford just around 7 minutes later, before in the 31st minute Milan Van Ewijk restored Coventry's lead. It is Coventry 2, Oxford United 1. Right, so that's going on elsewhere. In the Premier League, though, as I said, our first game of the new season hasn't seen a goal yet, but we certainly have a lot to digest from that first half. And a first half, I'd say that Manchester United fans, I'm sure, because, in a sense, we would... not we, I'm not a Man United fan. Neutral, of course. I think Man United fans would be okay with, decently happy with the first game of the season. They performed okay in that first half. They've played nice football at times. They've looked more comfortable as the half went on. They kind of weren't getting to grips with it in the first 15-20 minutes. Kind of really struggling to get up the field to keep themselves in that attacking third, because in the first 15-20 minutes we saw a bit more of Fulham. We saw Fulham playing out of the back a bit more comfort. Maybe United just trying to slowly grow into the game in the first 15-20 minutes. But as the half went on, they grew more dominant, they got more possession, and they were actually starting to find those passes, those little runs in behind that we didn't see at the start of the half, they were starting to emerge. The likes of Rashford and Mount making those little runs in behind, and then Fernandes as well making those runs on occasion. So that's certainly the tactic from United. They've got runners and they want to target them and try and find those runs in behind. So far it's not really turned into anything goal-wise. Probably their best chance of the game has come when Fulham gave the ball away themselves. In a sense, Bernd Leno just kicking the ball out from the back. It's something you probably see once every weekend, a little mistake like that, but it's rare in a sense. But of course, the opening weekend, the first game of the new season, a little mistakes are bound to happen. Bernd Leno just kicks it out into mid, trying to go for a midfielder, ends up giving it straight to Casemiro, who plays a nice ball for Bruno Fernandes, and then Fernandes just hits it straight at Bernd Leno, tries to get a bit of curl on it, doesn't catch it right, and Bernd Leno makes up for his earlier mistake. But that's probably been the best action of the half. Other than that, Man United have probably attacked better from set pieces, in a sense, I'd have to say, because we've seen a lot of kind of commanding possession from United in the final third at times, and then winning those corners and free kicks. We've seen Casemiro getting on probably almost exclusively all of them in that first half. Quite a number of headers over the bar, maybe some offsides in there as well. He's also had a pop shot from distance as well, Casemiro. So certainly, as the half went on, United started to get into their groove, started to get more comfortable in the game, and ultimately starting to have shots on the Fulham goal. But again, nothing clear-cut where you'd have to say, oh, Manchester United should be 2 or 3 up here. There's nothing to that extent so far in terms of dominance or control in the game. Fulham are still competing, still in the game. Not seen very much of Fulham in the attacking areas as Manchester United grew dominant, as you could expect. With Fulham being a bit deeper and sitting a bit deeper, it's harder to get up the field with those long balls and counter-attack that way. But that's something I'm sure Marco Silva will look to fix in the second half if they're not going to want to try and wrestle back possession. We've not really seen much of the debutant, Emile Smith-Rowe, I have to say. I was expecting to see a bit more from him, but in those little, in the central areas, Manchester United are crowding it out well. At times, they're playing that kind of box where they've got Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro, and then in front of them, it's either Mount, Ahmad, Fernandes. They're quite fluid in that front, depending on who's making the runs in behind, is depending on who the box midfield is. We've seen maybe at times, actually, Mazraoui as well stepping in. We've seen kind of inverted fullbacks at times. A big mention of last season, where a lot of teams took up that role. We've seen Mazraoui go further infield a bit more in that first half at times, linking up as well in the midfield once again, which could be a part of his game that Man United want to tap into. But ultimately, Fulham as well have had chances. They're probably their best chance of the game, or one of their best chances, was Adama Traore bursting down that right-hand side against the Manchester United defence. Left Casemiro for dust, and Martinez was left looking kind of hopeless, helpless in a sense, against the blistering pace of Adama Traore, which we hadn't seen much of at Fulham in the last few seasons after joining. But we've seen the best, I'd say, of Adama Traore in that first half. Probably one of Fulham's best players in that sense, going down the right-hand side. But again, not much in terms of final product from either team. But another half to come, and certainly a lot more time for that to change. Young boy in the chat says, POV, you came here because your fire stick stopped working the second game. The game was about to kick off and wouldn't come back on. Huh. Fair enough. Great to have you with us anyway. In whatever sense, it is half-time, and it is goalless at half-time. We did mention that we'd analyse the first half, but we'd also talk about what Opta predict. Of course, Opta, the big stats agency, expected to be predicting who's going to finish where, who's going to be challenging for what this season. Well, they've had their say before the campaign got underway, before a ball was kicked. And let's have a look at what they've predicted. And starting with the title, percentage chances for teams winning the title this season. Only 3 teams have more than a 1% chance of winning the Premier League title this season, according to Opta, and these are the 3 teams. The top 3 from last season are those 3 teams. Let's have a look at them. Manchester City, again expected to be favourites for the title. 82% chance of lifting the title for the 5th successive time. Expected Manchester City, 82% according to Opta, 12% for Arsenal and 5% for Liverpool. Considering the fact that Arsenal were just 2 points away from winning the title, a 12% chance of winning the title this season, it seems really, really harsh. And ultimately, you can probably figure out that doesn't add up to 100, 17 to 82, and then that brings you to 99. And of course 1% for anyone else, but less than 1% for anyone else to pick up the title in terms of Opta's prediction. So Manchester City is deemed to be the favourites according to Opta to lift the title. Finishing in the top 4 then, 10 teams Opta predict are going to have at least a 2% chance of getting in the top 4 this season. And there's a good mix of teams here as well. Some you may not expect to be here, but they are. Manchester City given almost a 100% chance of finishing in the top 4 according to Opta. 99.9%. They want to go for that antibacterial kind of advertising, not giving us a 100% chance, just in case there isn't that top 4, although Manchester City almost nailed on. No one's nailed on for anything, but Manchester City, if they're going to be challenging for the title, they'll definitely be in the top 4, obviously. Arsenal, 95.7% chance according to Opta for a top 4. Liverpool at just under 90% at 88%. Those are the 3 teams that are predicted to be almost certainly challenging for top 4, at least getting top 4 this season. And then there's a mix of 7 other teams in this list. Some of them you may not expect to be there, or at least that high, but they are. Chelsea at 30, or just over 31%, are the 4th highest side in terms of percentage chance to be finished in the top 4, which is a bit of a shock according to some people's predictions pre-season. Newcastle are next at 27%. Manchester United 6th favourites to be in the top 4 at just under 19%. Spurs at 17.5%, and then 3 teams with a less than 10% chance of getting top 4. Aston Villa, who are in the Champions League, qualified, finishing in the top 4 last season, not according to Opta, only a 7% chance of doing the same again. Palace, who have got off to a really good start when Oliver Glasner took over in the latter stages of last season, but could have Mark Gahey pipped, although 4 bids seemingly rejected from Crystal Palace for Mark Gahey from Newcastle. Could he be staying? We'll see. Michael Olise's already gone. Palace don't want to lose all of their big stars from last season, and they're holding out on Mark Gahey. Palace have a 5% chance of top 4. That is incredible. A 1 in 20 chance of finishing in the top 4. That's unbelievable. West Ham with a 2.2% chance of finishing in the top 4. And as you can predict, there's 10 teams here. In terms of the relegation battle, these teams are seen to have a very slim chance of being in a relegation battle, these 10 teams. Looking at the other 10 teams, they're all have percentage chances of relegation. Let's have a look at the relegation battle then. And of course, as you could expect, the 3 teams just promoted from the Championship are the top on the list of teams expected to finish in relegation. Southampton at just over 3/4 are 2/3, of the percentage, 66.7%. Ipswich with a 64% chance. Leicester with 60%. Then Nottingham Forest come in at 35%. Wolves at 21% chance of relegation. Bournemouth 12%. And then 4 teams with less than 10%. Brentford at 9.9%. Everton 9.1%. Fulham 6.6% chance of relegation. And Brighton with a 5% chance of being relegated, according to Opta. Right, that is that done for you. Let's have a look at the weekends. Opening weekend of the season. Liverpool travel to newly promoted Ipswich tomorrow at lunchtime. 3 o'clock kickoff. See Arsenal, last season's runners-up. They host Wolves. Everton welcome Brighton as they have a new manager, Brighton, to Goodison in the start of the final season at Goodison Park for Everton. Newly promoted Southampton head to the northeast to face Newcastle. A really long trip. Their longest trip of the season is their first trip of the season for Southampton. Bournemouth, they head up north as well. They face Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. West Ham welcome Aston Villa tomorrow evening at 5:30. Then on Sunday, Brentford take on Palace from 2. Manchester City, the champions, have another away visit and they head to Stamford Bridge to face Enzo Maresca's Chelsea before newly promoted Leicester host Tottenham on the Monday Night Football. That is your opening weekend of the Premier League season. Tomorrow, though, here in LFS, we'll have the opening game of the opening weekend of the La Liga season as we watch Valencia take on Barcelona tomorrow at 8:30 here on LFS. Right, the second half from Old Trafford, which hasn't seen a goal yet. Surely we'll see a goal in the second half. Second half's on the way next. welcome back to Premier League Live here on LFS this evening. Great to have you with us for the opening game of the new Premier League season this evening. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. And also follow us on socials as well, on X, Instagram and TikTok. All the links and handles you need are in the live video description. The players returning to the second for the second half. And we did mention when I'd said about the changes for the new season. A couple of things that VAR would be talking about and the Premier League will be doing about to fix out that VAR confusion over decisions. They have put out on their new X account, the Premier League Match Centre, that will explain decisions. They have put 2 tweets out in the first half. One for the penalty incident on Ahmad in the 13th minute and also in the 40th minute for the yellow card given for Harry Maguire. Both penalty checks. And both have come out on a referee's call decision by the VAR. Of course, a new phrase we'll be hearing much more this season, the referee's call. That basically the VAR have said there is no problem with the decision and we're sticking with the referee's call. Basically just saying there's no change from VAR. They've looked at it, they reviewed it, and they see no issue with what the on-field decision is. So that has happened in the first half, and I'm sure we'll see that all the way throughout the season, all the way throughout every game this campaign as we get back underway at Old Trafford for a second half where we've seen no goals so far in the opening game of the new season, but of course the Premier League always delivers. It always delivers, and I have the confidence that we'll see some interesting goals tonight. No doubt about that. Of course, both teams want to get off to a winning start, and I'm sure we'll see not a desperate look for that in the second half, but a much more intense pushing for that in the opening nights. Gary in the chat, great to have you with us, Gary. Welcome in. Says, welcome back, my Irish friend. We missed you. Great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us this evening for the new season. Of course, we're going to have a bit of I'm going to level with you, right? We have a disrupted weekend this weekend. I couldn't get away because of the Euros, and I haven't been able to get away so far, so I'm going on a few days away this weekend, albeit it collides with the Premier League match weekend. I'm working tomorrow at another situation, so we're not doing any games tomorrow, but I will be available tomorrow night to do the Valencia-Barcelona game in the La Liga, and then no Premier League Sunday, no Premier League Monday, and I'm away Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but I will be back for next weekend, and we'll have lots of action for you. But I just have to level with you. But we couldn't miss the opening game. Here's Emile Smith-Rowe. Look to break through the lines there as Man United get a bit muddled at the back. Iwobi looking to cross it. Mazraoui there to block it. Fulham get the first corner of the half. I just had to level with you. Just had to be honest. You know, we stay open. We stay kind of what's the word? Transparent here at LFS. We're not going to try and pull the wool over your eyes. We just have to be honest. You know, and we're being honest with you tonight. Anyway, moving on. Back to the football. 2 minutes gone in the second half. Fulham have the first corner. Left-hand side. Their second of the game. Right-footed delivery. Off the front post. And Iwobi's header is over the bar. Again, we have to say the attacking side has certainly got the better of the set pieces so far. Certainly getting the first connections on the set pieces, both teams when they've attacked from either free kicks or corners so far. Interesting. Martinez darting forward, but the ball straight through to Calvin Bassey. As Fulham recover. Leno not with the best kicks again. As Mainu won the first ball there. Diop won the second as Traore's header is seen out for a Man United throw. Second half underway in the Championship game between Coventry and Oxford. Coventry leading by 2-1. We'll keep you updated if anything changes there this evening. Here's Dallow to take this throw in for United. Mainu gets a bit caught in the possession. Here's Iwobi down the left trying to feed it through for Robinson, but just too close, too narrow towards Mazraoui, who picked it up and recovered for United as that long ball by Onana picked off again. Here's Smith-Rowe, space to turn. Smith-Rowe trying to go into the box. Closed off by Casemiro. Corner to Fulham. come out with a bit of energy in the second half, Fulham. It's good to see. They kind of dropped off as the first half kind of moved on, and Man United were growing in dominance, but so far Marco Silva's clearly said something at half time. It's got them back out there with a bit of energy. Puts United's defence under a bit more pressure now. Lots of height in there. As the centre-backs both up here for Fulham. Right-footed delivery again from post as it's all the way through and cleared away by Dalot. Smith Rowe now to pick it up for Fulham. Body's still in the box as he feeds it down the right flank, but Dalot has that one covered against Adama Traore. And a free kick, I think, has been given. We see the cross from the corner. It's flicked on at the front post. Kenny Tete got his head to it, and it might have been just sneaking around the corner, but really good covering from Dalot. Just stuck to his position, and it might have just snuck wide, but didn't take any risks as Dalot was there and dealt with that. Might have been a bit wary. Well, there's one of their big signings of the summer, Joshua Zirkzee, warming up at the sidelines there for Manchester United. Of course, no Rasmus Højlund until at least mid-September, which was initially quoted for his return. Joshua Zirkzee, of course, not surely fit enough, I'm guessing, for tonight's game. Otherwise, he probably would have started. But United not going for that risk as Fulham try and get cute in the final third there between Muniz and Tete. But United have the bodies in the way as it comes back to Andre Onana. Goes short to Martinez. Under pressure from Traore. Muniz closing in as Onana finds Maguire. Excuse me. As it goes long, trying to find the run of Ahmad up against Bassi. He had it covered and took no risk putting it out for the throw. Did Calvin Bassi. As Mazraoui will take this throw in. High on the right hand side. He's looking for options as Mazraoui, shouting for his team. The ball finds Bruno Fernandes. Facing his own goal though in that sense as the referee plays advantage. Martinez giving it away on force there as Traore chases. Here is Adama Traore as United trying to get bodies back. Traore pulled back by Rashford, and that will be a free kick. Just see it there, Rashford just charging back. Something he was really kind of criticised for last season, not tracking back, not getting back and tracking the winger. And he did get back, but he just kept left a tug on Adama Traore there. He maybe went down a bit easily, but foul is a foul. And a free kick given to Fulham. As there was a one earlier on Fernandes that he felt should have been pulled up for, but the referee played advantage. And United ultimately giving the ball away with an unforced error. Here's Andreas Pereira over this free kick for Fulham. Can he find a man in the middle? A man in the box? For Fulham here. Let's see. Pereira's on his own. United have really compacted that defensive area. They've 6 or 7 bodies within a couple of yards of each other. Really compacted. So the referee has something to attend to here as Rashford's maybe not 10 yards away, who knows? He's waiting to kind of close it down as Pereira delivers to the back post and Onana came and Onana gathered. I mean, I don't want to be harsh and say it looked easy, but it did. I mean, it didn't look threatening at all. As Man United break down the left-hand side with Rashford on the left flank, looks to chop inside, and the ball is bouncing around like a pinball, but not into the back of the net. And Mason Mount shouts a 4-letter word into the air. And I think Bernd Leno was involved in something there because it went behind for a corner. It went round like a pinball as the ball came down the left-hand side and ended up going behind. Corner to Manchester United. Fernandes to take. Takes short. Pulls it across to Ahmad. Now back to Fernandes, who looks to go low into the box. And Robinson's clearance was a bit hoofed. I think it goes behind for another corner. Just see this again from Rashford. Chops in field. Gets past Pereira. And Mount was in the middle. Struck it right at Bernd Leno. I think it came bouncing back out and off a Fulham defender as Fernandez delivers again. Right hand from Leno to clear it away as might head it back in, but behind for a goal kick. And Fern Leno claiming a foul, I think, there. I don't know what for, because he got a hand to it, so he wasn't obstructed in any sense. Well, Manchester United have lost just 4 of their 34 Premier League meetings with Fulham, but one of those came in their most recent encounter, of course, in February, with Fulham winning 2-1 here at Old Trafford. Only the second time Fulham have won at Old Trafford since 1963. Once in 2001 and once in 2024. The referee played advantage there as Mount was fouled, but again United couldn't make much of that. Here's Robinson. Heavy first touch, or a short pass, but nonetheless, Emile Smith-Rowe didn't get it, and Maguire now plays it through down the right-hand side. Ahmad trying to cross. Again closed down as Bassi calls for calm from his team. But United are doing anything but being calm, as they want to take advantage of this momentum. Corner to United, right-hand side. 10 minutes gone of the second half, and United trying to reinstate their kind of dominance on the game. And the historics of attacking the Stretford end has been something of a good luck charm for United, as it is with multiple clubs elsewhere around the country. As that corner comes in, a bit loose, a bit low. Not the best of deliveries, as Bassi could, or not Bassi, Iwobi, sorry, could head that clear. So it's fed forward again from United, out to Rashford on the left flank. Chased all the way by Tete. Casemiro goes round the corner, nice link up with Dallo. Casemiro now cuts it back to Fernandez, and Mainu just wide. Really good combination from Manchester United there on the left flank. And Mainu just dragging it wide with that right foot. Scored some huge goals for United in the last few months. Most importantly in an FA Cup final. And he had the chance to score the first goal of the season. He just doesn't catch it significantly well. He just drags it wide with that right boot. It's close, but not as close as I'm sure he was expecting it to be. Fulham clear it away. Muniz trying to battle with Maguire, but Maguire comes out on top. Mazraoui. As Ahmad caught on the ball, and Robinson down the left. He's got bodies in the box. Robinson can't find a teammate, can he? As he crosses it a bit too much, as Adama Traore will pick up on the right flank. Game's certainly opened up a bit more. Traore to chip it to the back post. Not confidently cleared away by Mazraoui as Robinson picks up again. He delivers, but Casemiro comfortably takes it down for United to clear away. A bit loose in terms of the passing from both teams in the last few minutes. Game's certainly opened up a bit more. More attacking intent from both sides. Here's Iwobi looking for the run of Smith-Rowe. He wasn't tracked there for a moment. But Maguire came across and did well to stop the new signing in his tracks. As Maguire now breaking down the right himself here. And wins Man United the throw in. He's looking for runners, but he couldn't find any. Didn't have any. There did Harry Maguire. We have a goal to tell you about from the Championship. It's been a ding-dong battle all night between Coventry and Oxford United. Coventry took the lead. Oxford levelled. Coventry again took the lead. You can guess what's happened. Oxford have levelled once again. It is Coventry 2, Oxford United 2. And that equaliser coming in the last moment or two. We're fairly quick on this one. We don't even have a goal scorer yet. It is Coventry 2, Oxford United 2. And the goal scorer, Mark Harris, levels things for Oxford. They're certainly not giving up. They won their first 2 games of the new season. In the league and in the cup. Both home games 1-2-0. And their first away game of the season. They're looking to stay unbeaten. 2-2. As United readying some changes on the sidelines. It looks like Garnacho and the new signing Xerxes are readying themselves. So we'll see their introductions very shortly. Rashford linking up nicely with Mainu. And Rashford tried to go down the left flank. Well covered over by Kenny Tete. And Tete there, I think, maybe getting a throw-in out of that. Just see this again. I think it actually has gone for a goal kick. on Kenny Tete. I think he got the last touch off Rashford there. That's really good covering. Good defending. The poll in the chat for you, by the way. There is a poll in the chat. We will run that throughout the game. Predicting your prediction on this result. Man United win with over 80%. Draw at 8% and a Fulham win at 12%. Keep your votes coming in if you haven't voted already. That poll will be closing at some point in the second half. Keep those votes coming in. Greatly appreciated your interaction tonight on the opening game of the new season. As Rob Jones is going to pull this back for an earlier foul on Kobbie Mainoo. And there is another player down at the moment. Actually, it was Mount that was struggling for a moment there, but he's up back on his feet. Of course, Mason Mount wants to avoid injuries. He was ravaged with injuries all the way throughout last season, was Mason Mount. As changes incoming then for Manchester United, Ahmad is going to make way. And Alejandro Garnacho, love saying that name, Alejandro Garnacho is going to be coming on. And also the second replacement, Mason Mount, is going to be coming off. And the new signing, Joshua Zirkzee, gets a roaring applause and a roar from the crowd on his introduction. The Dutchman, 23-year-old Dutchman, joined for over £36 million from Bologna on the 14th of July. And a month later, he makes his Manchester United debut in the Premier League. Looking to add goals to this game so far for Manchester United. And of course, Alejandro Garnacho scored quite a few himself. He scored probably arguably goal of the season last season. Garnacho away at Goodison. An unbelievable overhead kick. Absolutely sensational. Rooney-esque, it was called. No doubt about it. Garnacho had his breakout season last season consistently. And he wants to have another consistent season in the United side this campaign. Some were actually calling as to why he wasn't in the starting lineup tonight, Alejandro Garnacho, considering how consistent he was and how dominant and how kind of important he was to United at times last season. But he's involved for at least 30 minutes tonight. We have hit that hour mark in the game, still 0-0 as Fulham go for the throw. It's nice work from Iwobi there to work it around. Pereira, out wide it goes to Traore. Back it comes as Tete delivers deep. Iwobi was threatening, still not away as Muniz tries to go for the overhead kick and the deflection has to be palmed over the bar by Onana. Onana had to watch it to the very last second. Let's see this, Muniz gets the better of Mainoo, chests it down and then tries to go for the overhead kick. And it just comes clasping off the right shoulder of Mainoo up into the air, and Onana had to just palm it over the bar. And another man who hasn't really been massively involved tonight, Rodrigo Muniz, but that was a big involvement, getting Fulham a corner. Close one, it's in the box on the front post, but behind for another one. Casemiro. See that again, it was a very deep corner. Just right across the near post and lots of bodies in there. It's kind of that idea of it could go anywhere. And lots of crowding in the six-yard box again from Fulham. Let's see what they do here. Another corner. A bit more height behind this one as Casemiro heads away. Robinson tries to keep it forward for Fulham. Smith Rowe heads it forward. Not able to keep the possession as it comes bouncing off Fernandez there. And Smith Rowe was involved as it goes behind for a goal kick. Fulham going to make a change then, and Emile Smith Rowe's debut at Fulham has come to an end. And wanting to start a new chapter. Ultimately still in the capital, so not much change for Emile Smith Rowe, changing colours, his shirts. And Emile Smith Rowe, the new big man at Fulham tonight, hasn't been able to contribute to goals, but he certainly tried to insert himself in the side. And the old adage, experienced Tom Kearney has come on in his place. So I think we'll see a bit of a tweak in the Fulham system in terms of positionally between players. I'd say Pereira will push further up into Smith Rowe's 10 role, and Kearney will just take a step across alongside Sasa Lukic, in a sense, I would guess. Here's Traore. Does well with his feet, not with the pass though, as that's pipped away from Tete, and now Mainu, as Traore tries to battle back. Does well, wins it back. Tete, loose passing again, giving the ball away. Xerxes, linking up with Fernandez. Now Rashford across, and couldn't find a target in there. Garnacho was the closest, but he couldn't get on the end of that one as Fulham clear their lines. The game has certainly opened up much more in this second half. See that again, Rashford just takes it first time across the box, and Garnacho maybe just not on his toes there. Otherwise he would have been threatening for the coming on the end of that. Robinson just cleanly cleared it away at the back post. Tete with a throw. Brought down by Muniz. Nicked away by Martinez, but Fulham recover once again. Here's Anthony Robinson. In a straight race with Garnacho. Had the ball pipped away from him. No foul. As they left the ball there. Mazraoui picks up. Garnacho. Casemiro. Nice ball round the corner. Finds Fernandez in space. Can break forward for United. Fernandez. Charged down well by Bassi. As Muniz battling for the ball. He gets the break of the ball. And now Fulham have a 2-on-1. And he's messed up the pass there, as Andres Pereira, but he keeps it alive. And his man's offside, so it'll come to nothing because Onana will get there first. A real calamity of errors there between both teams. United had a 2-on-1 to defend, and Pereira messed up the pass. Then ultimately, Man United struggling to get back on the ball. They do eventually. It's a real open game. 25 to go, still 0-0. We're desperate for a goal. Both sides desperate to find the opener, but nothing yet. Iwobi getting the better of what seems to be a bit of a tired Casemiro as Mazraoui picks it up. Casemiro into the box and headed behind for a corner. But the crowd are up for this night. The Manchester United crowd starting to edge their side on as they committed a challenge there, Manchester United, on Muniz. I think it was Martinez, and Maguire was left 2-on-1. And Pereira, all he had to do was play the ball to a free man, and he completely hits it straight at Harry Maguire. A golden opportunity for Fulham. Now United have a corner at the other ends. A quarter of the game to go. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. Will we see a goalless opening game? Or will we get somewhat of a result? Somewhat of a goal fest? Because this game certainly opened up a lot more. There's a free kick given there to Fulham. Well, I've certainly got a lot of stats to tell you about. I have a lot of action to tell you. Following their Premier League victory at Old Trafford last season, Fulham are looking for to win consecutive away league visits to Manchester United for the first time ever. They faced them at Old Trafford in their opening league match 3 times previously. They've lost all 3. 1-0 in 1950, 3-2 in 2001, and 5-1 in 2006. Here's Casemiro. Fernandez. As the ball comes back to Maguire. Well, 3 of the last 4 Premier League meetings between United and Fulham have been won by the away side. Each of these victories coming courtesy of a 90th minute winning goal. There you go, as the ball into the box again. And Robinson just about did it off against, I think it was either Dalot or Garnacho at the back post. See this again, or it was Dalot with the delivery. Garnacho was at the back post. See it again. Dalot just comes off the left-hand side, right-footed delivery, going back the other way. And it was Fernandez and Garnacho at the back post. Robinson did enough. Corner. Headed away at the front post. Garnacho looking to strike from distance, but not much threat in that one. And easily gathered at the back. Fulham win the throw in there. That's a nice breakaway here for Pereira down the right. What he's throwing at it, but Pereira does well to keep hold of it and wins the free kick against Dallo and Martinez there. It's a yellow card coming out here. It will be to Andres Pereira, who will receive the yellow card for, I'm guessing, dissent. Or I actually think he wanted to take the quick free kick and just booted it at the Man United player. I think that's probably why he's been given the yellow card. Just unnecessary behaviour, really, from Andres Pereira, as he finds himself in the book. Joining Harry Maguire, Mason Mount and Calvin Bassey, who've all been yellow carded this evening by the referee. Pereira to deliver this free kick then. Bodies around the box. Let's see. Pereira. 70 minutes gone. Pereira's right-footed delivery is all the way through. Completely misses everybody. Calvin Bassey was the closest, but it was over his head. And United can try and get away with this. Maguire. Casemiro. To Martinez. Not particularly quick on that movement for Manchester United there. Here's Fernandez. Nice darted ball in behind. Here's Rashford. Rashford steps in. Well closed down there. Nice touch by Diop. Got in the way. As Fulham move between the lines now. Here's Adama Traore. Lays it off to Tom Kearney. Kearney. Body's in the box. He will go for the cross. Cuts it back. Traore closed down by Casemiro. Back alive. The Robinson tried to cushion it into the box, but Maguire hoofs it clear. And out for the throw. Harry Maguire goldered up by his goalkeeper there for making that poor decision. Just keeps the pressure on Manchester United. Probably unnecessarily so. Throw into Fulham down the left. As Iwobi receives. Again, isolated there. And Man United have bodies around the player to win it back. Although the loose ball given out from the back. Nice touch by Kearney. Up against Mainu. Gets the better of Mainu as they both end up on the floor, but the referee says play on. Casemiro, a bit loose in his passing now. It's catching for United there. Here's Traore. Nice footwork around the players. And Traore will shoot. Deflects off the back of Dallo, but they took the pace off it. And Onana gathers. This game is really tough to call at this moment. Will we have a late winner in this one? It's been an end-to-end second half. Is there going to be a goal? Certainly more than enough time for it. The chat's still predicting that that Manchester United will end up winning this game. 79%. Thank you for your votes. Keep them coming in if you haven't voted already. We will be closing the poll in a couple of minutes' time. Here's Fernandez. His ball forward. Deflected again. A lot of deflections tonight. As Fulham pick it up again once more. Pereira. Will be taken out there, but the referee said it was a fair challenge, as that one's not. That's a really late challenge that time, and Tom Kearney, I think, is going to get him booked, self-booked here. He is. Yeah. Just comes cynically in on Garnacho. I don't think he meant any malice behind it, but it's just a late challenge. Garnacho spotted it, just nicked the ball away, and Kearney just took out the man. And the Fulham midfielder gets a yellow card. Free kick for United then. In Fulham's half. Fulham have a really high line at the back here. On the edge of the D. They're in line. Taken short. Garnacho. Man United wanted a free kick there, but Fulham have a counter-attack, and it's a 3-on-2. United need to get bodies back and quick. Here's Traore. Finds Kearney. Tries to dart it through the lines. Here it comes out to the left. Muniz, and what a challenge by Martinez. That's incredible defending. Manchester United looked at a real bit of bother there on the counter-attack. And it's a 3-on-2 initially. We see Traore burst away with the ball and he's got bodies flying with him. He feeds it to Kearney and Kearney just feeds this one out to the left and it's into the path of Pereira, I believe, out there. It is Andres Pereira, just left-footed, looks to go across the 6-yard box, and Man United centre-back Martinez gets there and puts it behind for the corner as the corner's fed in and at the front post again, and it's over the bar. I think Casemiro got the last touch, maybe get another corner here for Fulham. See this again, front post, lots of bodies at the front post, and trying to see who it was up there. I think it was Casemiro that got the last touch. So another Manchester United, or Fulham corner, sorry. One for United to defend, and lots of bodies in the 6-yard box once more at the front post. Again, Fulham deliver. It's gone all the way through. And out the other end will be another corner. We're unsure about that, the officials initially there. The corner has been given on the opposite side for Fulham. 15 minutes of normal time to go. Man United 0, Fulham 0 on the opening night here at Old Trafford. A jam-packed weekend of the Premier League. On the opening weekend, lots of interesting matchups, but this one is very tight and tough to call at this late stage. Pereira to deliver. Right-footed delivery into the box. Bassi won the header. He will spin on the shots, and again, Man United get it clear. Kearney up into the air. Xerxes flicks it forward, intercepted by Robinson. Now here's Lukic. Back it comes to Traore. Out in the right hand side now. Pereira. And Fulham are going to make changes momentarily. Kearney. Bassi. Out to the left flank now. Robinson. Diop trying to target in behind. Nicely chested down by Pereira. Now Traore chips in field. Closed down by Casemiro as Tete wanted a free kick for that challenge, but the referee said no. Said he got the ball. Play on as Robinson intercepts Garnacho. And Robinson does well. Turns defence into attack. Out wide it comes to Iwobi. Finds Kearney in the box. Kearney a bit lazy trying to go across the box. Maguire a bit lazy in his clearance. Here's Iwobi into the middle. On the spin is Muniz. Crowded out, but still not away as Onana comes and gathers. Goodness me. It's really got exciting. It's getting a bit sloppy at the back from both types of defences as United just about closed off there. And Robinson couldn't reach as Xerxes was in his way, but it will be a United throw-in. Fulham making changes though in a moment. Just see this again. Fulham, nice ball by Iwobi into the middle. And there was lots of bodies in there for United. Both centre-backs and Casemiro crowding the man out. Not allowing him a clean shot at goal, and really strong defending from United there. And Onana comes and just jumps on the ball as Raul Jimenez and Harry Wilson are going to be the changes incoming for Fulham. Adama Traore is going to be one of those changes, and the other change is Muniz, the man who almost had a good chance. So Rodrigo Muniz and then Adama Traore coming off, replaced by Harry Wilson and Raul Jimenez for Fulham. So attacking changes for Marco Silva's side. "12 minutes to go. Manchester United had the most goals for and against. One of the most goals for or against in the last 15 minutes. So basically saying in the last 15 minutes of Manchester United games last season, there was 35 goals combined. That's almost one per game in the final 15 minutes. So certainly late drama in games involving the Red Devils in the previous campaign. As Harry Wilson wins a free kick for Fulham. One of the most memorable, surely, Brentford. When Man United thought they'd won it in added time, and in the 99th minute, Brentford equalised. It was one of the craziest endings to a game we'd seen. Chelsea as well. Chelsea against Manchester United at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea scoring very, very late in the 101st minute to win. It was a kind of a pretty poor display from United late in games last season, where they were giving away late penalties or late goals. Well, it could have been avoided. And here they want to get one of their own. Xerxes finds Garnacho. Bodies flooding forward for United. Nice ball finds Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the box. But not the best of strikes from the United captain, as his shot is easily gathered by the opposing captain, Bernd Leno. That's a good run from United. But again, Fernandes just gets in and around the edge of the box. And it's a really tame effort. Not much power behind it from Bruno Fernandes that we usually see from the United man. Man United going to make changes then. And another debutant coming on tonight as Harry Maguire leaves the field. And Matthijs de Ligt, the new signing from Bayern Munich, is coming on in his place. Well, every club he's joined, he has gone on to win the league in his first season at those clubs. And as one debutant comes on, another comes off, as Noussair Mazraoui's debut comes to an end. So Maguire and Mazraoui off, and Johnny Evans and Matthijs de Ligt coming on for United. Defensive changes to make sure that United don't lose this game late on, surely. I'm guessing, from a Erik ten Hag's point of view. As here come United again from the throw-in. Garnacho's made the run in behind. He's got Rashford across the goal. Tete stretches out and does well. Fabulously. We've seen some really fantastic last-ditch challenging in this game this evening. Fabulous ball over the top, and Garnacho makes the darting run in behind. Robinson does his best to try and get back. The ball comes across the 6-yard box. Or the 18-yard box, sorry. And it's Tete just stretches out a right leg. He's gone well beyond the ball, and he just stretches his leg behind his body. And he gets there and allows his keeper to recover. But Rashford was the target at the back post. And if Tete had got nothing on that, he certainly would have been in trouble. Nice takedown by Lukic, but not the best of passes as Fulham get a bit loose there. Give it away again. Nice work from Casemiro, linking up with Rashford. Now Fernandes out to Casemiro on the left. Going to chip it into the box. Bounced all the way through, and Robinson can't clear it. Garnacho got up for the header. Back was Iwobi. Not cleared away by Fulham as Fizz back in, but nowhere near anyone in United red in there. And Bernd Leno comfortably gathers for Fulham as Scott McTominay is going to be coming on as well for United momentarily. We've certainly seen him score late before for United. Multiple times. He has had some interest from other clubs. McTominay on a future, but for the moment he is a United player. As Wilson. Kearney. Now to Iwobi. Off the left. Finds Wilson in the box. Tries to manoeuvre it, but just oversteps it. And it goes behind for a goal kick. 7 minutes of normal time to go. 0-0 here at Old Trafford. Could we be on for a grandstand finish to the opening game of the new season? Well, Kobbie Mainoo, he's going to be coming off. And Scott McTominay is coming on in his place. And a round of applause for the 19-year-olds. McTominay the late super sub for United previously. He wants to add himself to that list once again and add another famous late winner to his roster of already famous late winners. As that's not great from Onana. Out from the back, that's terrible distribution, but Fulham throw. Well, Fulham are looking to continue their away form from last season. They won 2 of their final 3 Premier League away games last season. They were unbeaten in the last 3, drew 1 of those 3, as many as they've managed in their first 16 on the road last campaign. So certainly had a good reaction to finishing the campaign on the road. And they want to start this new campaign with a big result on the road if they can. A draw would be a decent result, but I feel that a win is not impossible in the later stages as they win a free kick here. And Marco Silva, he's unbeaten in his last 9 opening league matches as a manager of the new seasons. Won 3, drawn 6. Of course, 1-1 at Estoril, drew 1 at Sporting, 1-1 at Olympiacos, drew 1 at Watford, 2 draws at Everton, and of course 1-1 and drawn 2 with his current club, Fulham. So Fulham have previous successes under Marco Silva on the opening day of seasons. They want to have more successes. Jimenez tried to feed it through for the runner of Wilson there, but well closed out as the now Man United want to go for runners. As Robinson again on the back of Garnacho, and Garnacho keeping the ball just about edge of the box, looking to manoeuvre for a shot. That went down a bit too easily there. I think he tripped over the ball. Garnacho wanted a foul. The referee said no. Here's Iwobi on the other ends. 5 minutes or so to go of the 90. Kearney. End-to-end football. Wilson. Pereira now to Kearney again. Now Tete off the right. Wilson. Back to Kenny Tete. Tete sees a bit of space open up. He runs into that space. Finds Pereira. Tom Kearney, back it comes. Diop, now Bassi. To Robinson. Through the lines. Here's Alex Iwobi. Against Dallo and Casemiro, and Casemiro puts in a nice challenge. And Dallo goes back across to his goalkeeper, Onana. Trying to get United on the front foot. Martinez chips it forward, looking for the run on the spin. That's nice spinning from Fernandes. Good work to break into the space. Bruno Fernandes got bodies ahead, finds Xerxes in a bit of a gap. Now out to the right comes Casemiro. Garnacho with him, Garnacho with a cross, and the ball is bundled, and it's into the net. Manchester United's new boy, Joshua Xerxes, has the final touch, as Manchester United could have a golden touch on the opening night of the new season. They've needed 87 minutes to get there, but they have broken the deadlock. And Fulham's good form under Marco Silva in opening games of new seasons could be coming to an end. It all started by cute play down the left-hand side. Fernandes spinning away from his man. Not closed down well enough by Fulham initially. Xerxes plays it to Casemiro. Casemiro to Garnacho, who just puts the ball into the box. Xerxes unmarked, just arrives late and just takes a touch with it. See it here again. Ball into the box, and Xerxes, wonderful touch, wonderful goal. It's taken its time, but ultimately things that are worth waiting for do take their time, and that's lovely. And that's huge. That'll get the crowd going, it'll get the fans going, it will certainly bring about the feel-good factor for Manchester United to start this new campaign. They started the 23-24 season at home with a 1-0 win. They look to be doing exactly the same in the 24-25 campaign. United 1, Fulham 0. And that's certainly got Old Trafford singing. Pereira, as Fulham now have to react if they want to keep their unbeaten start to new seasons under Marco Silva alive. I don't think it's a record they'll be focusing on, They want to have a positive result, considering, I would argue, they've had a positive display this evening. But it could be a super sub of new rather than a super sub of old that gives Manchester United 3 points in the first match week of the season. Unless Fulham can have a say. Pereira tries to find Robinson. Fabulous kind of challenge there from Dalot. Although the poor pass gets Fulham back on the front foot. Robinson trying to chip it across to find Jimenez. Tete getting his body in the way. Nice return from Jimenez. Out wide it goes to Wilson. Wilson in the box. Across to Tete, who's back the other way. United have bodies around every Fulham player at the moment. They're doing everything they can to hold on to this, as Tete will win the free kick. And the worst thing you can do there is give away a cheap free kick, which United have done. And they now have to defend this situation. "90 minutes are up, and we will see 4 added minutes at the end of the 90 then. 4 minutes. Pereira over this free kick. 2023-24 campaign was riddled with late goals. Is there another one on the cards? Is the delivery from Fulham. It's not fantastic. Lee met there, and it's cleared away. It will be a United throw-in, I believe. Substitutions incoming anyway for Fulham. Another Fulham debutant to come. Another Fulham player to return. Jay Stansfield, 21-year-olds. Make his first Premier League appearance in quite a long while. And Bobby De Cordova Reid as well is going to make. Harrison Reid. Wrong Reid. There's 2 Reids at Fulham previously. So Harrison Reid and Jay Stansfield coming on. They are the 4th and 5th changes for Fulham. So 2 more changes to try and give them that extra little bit in the final third for the last few moments of this match to rescue something of what has been a pretty positive performance ultimately from Fulham, especially in the second half. They've certainly given as good as they've got from Manchester United in the second half. They've battled with them all the way through. Here's Xerxes again for United, just trying to hold on to the ball to run the clock down. That's the key moment for United. That's the watchword. That's what they need to do. Run the clock down. But here comes Fernandes. They want to go for a second. Here's Bruno Fernandes. This would certainly finish it, as Fulham do just about keep it away from the net. Certainly not giving up on a second goal, United, although they have to be careful. Rashford tried to spin away. It's Robinson. Now Harrison Reid. He's got bodies forward. Finds Iwobi. Lovely manoeuvring. Finds Tom Kearney now. Fulham come forward with bodies. Iwobi chips it across. The target was Jimenez. Couldn't find him, as Fernandes comes away with it for United. Less than 2 minutes to go. Man United 1, Fulham 0. As Casemiro wins a free kick there, which goes a long way in giving United a bit more. As John Boy in the chat says, good signing for United, I'd say. Always good to get a debut goal, even better off the bench. It is indeed. It is indeed. Man United have had their history with super subs, of course. No doubt. Many can name them over the years. They might have a new one. Although I'm sure Joshua Xerxes will not want to be coming off the bench too much. Want to be starting and scoring for United, but we'll see if he can force his way into the side. I'm sure a winning goal on your debut will certainly give you a lot of brownie points, as they say, in trying to give you that chance. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. It's greatly appreciated to have you with us here in the opening night of the new Premier League season. And coming up tomorrow night, we have more action for you from La Liga as the new season gets underway there this weekend. Valencia welcome Barcelona tomorrow 8:30 on LFS. Oh, that's a mistake by Bassi. And here's Rashford. Squares it across. Garnacho. He's missed it. Goodness me. calamity of errors there at the back. Bassey made an absolute mess of it here. Completely misses it. Rashford makes the run in behind. He doesn't want to shoot. He squares it for Garnacho to have a tap in, and he just bundles it wide. Is there one last chance for Fulham? Could that have been their saving grace? 4 minutes are up, but is there more time to come? Or will United hold on here and just see out this 1-goal victory? As Onana at the back goes long. Referee allowing the clock to run a bit more here. Fulham get the throw. Is there one last opportunity in this? You never know. There's not. That's it. The first game of the new season concludes. And it is new boys that are the headline makers at Old Trafford. Joshua Zirkzee on his debut here at the Theatre of Dreams had the dream start to his Manchester United career. Joined from Bologna and has already opened his account in United Red. Fulham will feel hard done by that. They've battled all the way through. But it only takes one moment. It only takes one touch. It only takes a second to switch off and you find yourself behind. That's the quality of the Premier League. And tonight, Manchester United, as they did last season, get their season off with a win at home by the narrowest of margins. Final score at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Fulham 0. And there it is. The new season gets underway. And it's not been the goal fest that maybe we could have predicted, but it's certainly 3 points and a clean sheet that Erik ten Hag will point to in his side's result tonight. Their performance, certainly not at their top level, but I would say maybe if anybody deserved to win it, I would say the home side maybe just deserved to win it tonight. Not much in it, but of course, it only takes a toe. It only takes the slightest of touches to win a game. And Joshua Zirkzee gets his United career off to a goal-scoring start and a wonderful start. A win for United, a loss for Fulham, which is unbeknownst to Fulham under Marco Silva. They're unbeaten in their previous 3 under Silva on the opening day of seasons. But they taste defeat on the opening night of the new season without scoring a goal. Also to come this weekend, 9 more games to come for you. We'll not have any of them on LFS, but we will round up the first match week of the Premier League on the LFS podcast coming up on Wednesday. Coming up, still 5 days away, but we will round up the comprehensive scores. Tomorrow, we see newly promoted Ipswich welcome Liverpool under new regime at Anfield as Jurgen Klopp departed. Arne Slot came in. No signings yet for Liverpool. We'll see how they do away at Ipswich tomorrow lunchtime. Arsenal, the runners-up last season, they welcome Wolves. Brighton head to Everton as they have a new regime, Brighton. Newcastle welcome newly promoted Southampton. Nottingham Forest take on Bournemouth at the City Grounds. Tomorrow evening, Aston Villa head to West Ham in a battle of the Claret and Blues. And on Sunday, Brentford welcome Palace. As the big one of the weekend, Manchester City, the champions, they head to Chelsea before Leicester City welcome Tottenham on Monday night. That's it for the opening weekend of the Premier League here in LFS. The opening night is done and dusted. Just 1 goal to show you for it. And that is a huge one for Manchester United. In our match focus game, there's been a late winner as well. And that has come at the Coventry Building Society Arena. And it is the way of Coventry. The man who opened the scoring for Coventry, Haji Wright, has had the final say seemingly in the 6th minute of additional time of 7 added minutes. Haji Wright has put Coventry 3-2 up. Wonderful moment for him. But that's it tonight. Join us tomorrow for La Liga action. But for now, the Premier League is off and running. 1 down, 379 games to go. A long season to come. And you'll not miss a single moment here in LFS. For now, thanks for your company and night.